Alexander Graham Bell, born in Scotland in March 1847, was an inventor, scientist and engineer who created the first telephone. He was also the co-founder of the famous AT&T Company, which stands for the American Telephone and Telegraph Company. He passed away at the age of 75 in 1922 in Canada. He studied at the University of Edinburgh and the University College of London. He had 4 children, and his spouse was the known businesswoman Mabel Gardiner Hubbard.
He was very interested in the science of sound. He loved music, though he played the piano. At 12, he invented his first invention, a dehusking machine. At 23, he moved to Canada because his parents didn't want him to pass away like his brother. Then, he moved to Boston and tried to succeed, but unfortunately, at first he failed. Finally, Thomas Watson helped him with his work. They first communicate each other. Bell considered his invention an intrusion to his work. Although he invented the telephone, he didn't have one in his study. His father, grandfather, and brother had been associated with work on elocution and speech. Bell was awarded the first US patent of history for his invention in 1876. Bell's background was in hearing and speech, not electrical technology. He came from a family of professional speech teachers, and his mother and his wife were both deaf. His early professional career focused on educating those with hearing and speech impairments. In the early 1870s, while teaching in Boston, Bell studied acoustics at the Institute of Technology, now known as the MIT, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. His experiments there, like collaborating with a physician to construct a phonautograph based on the operation of the human ear, gave him the idea for the electric telephone and influenced his work with sound recording.
Alexander Graham Bell's original telephone, created in 1876, worked by converting sound into an electrical signal via a liquid transmitter. This process focused on directing sound through a receiver and onto a thin membrane stretched over a drum. On the outside of the membrane, a cork with a needle attached to a battery extended to a cup filled with sulfuric acid and a metal contact. When sound waves hit the membrane, they caused vibrations of the current passing between the needle and the contact. This created an electric signal varying in strength, which travelled down a wire to a receiver, where through a reversed process the sounds were recreated. While not being the only person to create a telephone at the time, Bell was the first to transfer his invention into a commercial product with a supporting network of exchanges and switchboards.
Bell made many other inventions in his later life, such as groundbreaking discoveries in optical communications, hydrofoils, and aeronautics. Although Bell was not one of the 33 founders of National Geographic Society, he had a strong influence on the magazine, while serving as the second president from January 7, 1898 until 1903. Beyond his work in engineering, he was also interested in the newly emerged science of heredity, which, in other words, was the work of his fellow friend Mendel on bees. He had already published his studies about genetics among bees. Apart from this, he set up a center for study and research into deafness, which is still active today in Washington, D.C.
Today, Bell is mostly remembered due to his invention of the telephone, as we use them every day in our day-to-day lives, but he isn't remembered for much more, despite making important contributions to the vast world of science. For example, he was one of the founders of the American Telephone and Telegraph Company back when it was founded in 1885, and he also made useful discoveries in the fields of hearing and communication. He won many awards during his lifetime, so today he is also remembered due to these. Some examples of awards are his 1883 NAS member, his 1902 Albert Medal, his 1907 John Fritz Medal, or his 1912 Elliott Cresson Medal. alongside his many honorary degrees like the Gallaudet College in 1880, University of Würzburg in 1882, Harvard University in 1886, or St. Andrews University in 1902. Apart from these, Bell was awarded the first US patent of history for his invention of the telephone in 1876. That brings us to the end of this amazing documentary produced by Sir Biel and Sir David Mitchell Farquharson.
We hope you enjoyed.